Welcome to Spin Justice with me, Hayley Owens, the podcast where I'll be talking about anything from health and fitness to the injustices of the world and everything in between. I've worked within the criminal justice system for over 20 years and have more recently taken to teaching indoor cycling, otherwise known as spin. Each week I'll be talking to a different guest about a topic that's personal to them, whether it be to raise awareness or just because. Most episodes will contain strong language because of who I am as a person, so if that's not for you, then probably best to swerve. Any opinions expressed by me are my own. Welcome, Shaun Attwood. I have hit the jackpot with you.
Oh, thank you for having me on, and I hit the jackpot with you and your story. Good grief.
You think that the stories are really interesting, but I said to you before, didn't I? Why is that? Why am I so blasé about it? Why do you think?
Because you've lived it. It's like I lived my life doing extreme things in raves and drugs. And as I was living it, I was surrounded by equally crazy people who were all reinforcing it and no one would put the brakes on. But you were on the other side of that.
Yeah.
But you're dealing with the criminals, murderers, homicide, people getting shredded. That is not normal. That's why a lot of the cops who interviewed got PTSD.
Yeah. I wonder if I've got that, you know. I talked to you on your channel, didn't I, about the giving my kids medication. Do you remember? I've done an episode about it on this channel.
Yeah.
It was a mental health episode, early days with Laura, when I talked about not wanting to give my kids medicine because of that mum that overdosed her kid on methadone. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of PTSD, that manifested into my life from that event. But I don't know, I feel like the other day, it was an anniversary of a child death that I'd worked on, and it was in the news because it was an anniversary, and I got upset, and I don't normally, because I think I took myself back there. I remember like being entrenched in the detail of what happened to the child. So when I saw the news flash that it was the anniversary, I took myself back there and I was like, oh, I don't like this feeling. And I did get upset.
Because when you're at work, you're internalising it, you're putting on a brave face and you're doing your duty. When you're in prison, you're internalising it, you can't show any weakness, you're going to get preyed on. So it comes out years later.
Yeah. And so let's rewind. Right. For anyone that doesn't know, first of all, why don't you? But secondly, you, English Shaun, as you're known, you went to America as a stockbroker, yes, and you made £1 million in your 20s and you fell in love with the rave scene. Yeah.
Fell in love with the rave scene when it started in Manchester and Liverpool, and
yeah,
it's like late 1980s, 1990, around then. Summer of Love, that's...
What year were you born, Shaun?
68.
68, oh my God.
Yeah.
So you're on the rave scene then, like in the UK, and then when you went over to Arizona, you took it with you.
My dream was to make $1 million in the stock market, fly my mates over and transfer the UK rave scene over to Arizona.
Which you did. Which actually did come true.
With the help of a lot of people. I was instrumental in it, yes.
Yeah. Did you fly your mates over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wildman was the main one,
was...
and his cousin Hammy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they, oh my God.
And Wild Woman.
And Wild Woman.
Yes.
So you lived out that dream, but it took a bad turn, didn't it?
Well, America was good to me, and we pushed it too far. It went from just buying pills for me and my mates to getting thousands of them from California, and then tens of thousands of them from Holland over the years.
How can you talk about that? How easy was that to get?
So in the beginning, I know one of my mates was dead acid, Joey. He would get us like 50 to 100 local.
Yeah.
And then he found out where the local dealers were getting from California. So we went out, 2 carloads of us went out to California, this property in Hollywood. And Wildman and me are in one car, and another big guy, Seth, and Acid Joey are in the other car. And we arrive at this house, and the guy's not there. And Wildman's like, I'm just going to kick his door in and take his effing shit. And I'm like, that's not good business, Pete. Let's just wait for him to show up. Guy shows up, these surfer gangsters, straight out of that movie Point Break.
Yeah.
That's what they look like. So anyway, instructions are I'm to go in on my own. I tell my mates, keep the wild man under control, but if I'm not out in 20 minutes, then you can kick the door in.
Yeah.
I'm crapping it. I've never gone out of state and done anything like this before in my life. Buying 1,000 ecstasy pills.
Yeah.
I've got 10 grand on me or whatever it is. And I go in and he's got these pills, Mitsubishis, and I taste one of them and I chew it. And I know the taste of ecstasy from my raving days.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's a good one. So then I hand over the bills. He comes out with the biggest bag of pills I've ever seen, 1,000 Mitsus, and we were in business. And I go out and I've got a twin turbo Mazda RX-7 from Fast and Furious 1. It's got a Bose surround sound and a first seat. Now I've just ate a pill. We've got Sasha and Digweed, the Renaissance CD playing. So as I'm driving back to Arizona, like 120 miles an hour, this was before I was safe about not getting caught. This was just naive mental first deal, and I just feel my head, the first seat just starts tickling my head, and I know that ecstasy's kicking in, and the music, Sasha's playing, and my eyes start rolling, and we're like,
oh my
I've been
God.
pulled over by somebody like you. My career would have ended right
You would
there.
have been pulled over by me. My friend Laura, I told you about, you'd have been pulled over by her. Yeah.
Hi Laura, hope to get you on the podcast.
Yes. So this is mad. How do you feel when you look back now? How do you because when you recall that day, for example, how do you feel?
So in January, a documentary came out called Sons of Ecstasy about me, my crew, against the Gravanos, Sammy the Bull Gravano and his son Gerard. And you're watching it and you're thinking, my God, did I do those things? It's surreal.
Do you feel like it's not you?
When I see like a prison movie and how scary it is,
Yeah.
and to think I was in with those guys at one point, it's just, my brain, it doesn't compute in my brain.
Yeah. Because I have times of my life where I don't feel like it was me.
Exactly.
So I can see that. You can,
Yeah.
You feel like, because we grow over time, don't we? And obviously look at what you're doing now, and how distant you are from the person you were then.
Yeah.
So it does feel like an out of body experience.
It's surreal.
Very.
Yeah.
So obviously, like you said, America was good to you and you took it too far. And you ended up in prison.
Yeah.
And 9.5 years you got, yeah?
Yeah.
And the prison system, well, first of all, like the books here, look how close I am to finishing it, right? The problem is, Shaun, I get into bed and I start reading and my eyes go. So I, oh no, the things come out. Hang on.
Trying to promote here.
Yeah, that's it. So first of all, I mean, we're 2002, aren't we? That you first got arrested.
2000, May 16th, 2002, SWAT team came. Bam, 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 bam.
The SWAT team came and kicked your door down.
Yeah.
And from that day, your liberty was gone.
Yes.
For 9.5 years.
So I served 6 on the 9.5.
Okay.
Yes.
That's still a long. 6 months is enough in those places. Would you agree?
I think I needed to do 6. It was the perfect amount of time because the first year I was incarcerated, I was still pretty wild. And if I'd have been released after 6 months, I would have gone back to it. I think if I'd have done 10 or more, I would have come out even crazier than I already am. Would have been institutionalised.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was probably the best time, really.
I think it was perfect for me, yeah.
Yeah.
I hated the prosecutor, the cops, the judge, everybody, the whole process. And now I look back and thank God, I praise them now for saving my life.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the name of the one that wanted to get her career?
Oh, I for legal reasons you have to change everybody's names.
Ah, okay.
But I changed the name to Gloria Olivia Davis.
Right.
G-O-D.
Okay. Right. Okay. God, clever. So she obviously wanted to, like, for you to get the biggest sentence ever.
Yeah, a lot of dirty tricks were played. And the detective who was coming on my court hearings, who was my nemesis, they wanted me away for life.
Yeah. And I mean, some of the stories that I'm reading in there. Well, actually, I'm reading it and I'm thinking, this isn't legal. The human rights breaches are just next level. I've just gone past the bit where it was that hot in there because, like, say it's like 50-degree heat. Now, we hit 30 degrees here last week and everyone's losing their head. You know, it's too hot. No one can sleep. We're all like, uncomfortable. So turn it up another 20 degrees. You're locked up, 3 men to a cell with 2 meals a day, all having to share the same toilet in a cell. Like, there's no privacy, is there?
No.
And there was a man, so the part I've just gone past in the book is that a man's collapsed through heat exhaustion, and he was penalised for collapsing.
Yeah, they gave him a ticket for disrupting the head count.
Yeah.
And he collapsed from something wrong with his heart and heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
I remember that. His name was Top Hat, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that it's like they're using heat as a form of torture.
Mm.
They're weaponizing it. This is the Sonoran Desert. We're in this brick building, so it heats up and it's like a concrete oven. It stays hot all night long. So you start to get skin infections and bed sores. It looked like I'd spilt battery acid on my leg at one point. And then because you sat around a lot, you got a lot of bed sores on your arse. And then you scratch yourself because you're sweaty and itchy. But your skin has turned soggy from sweating every day. So clumps of your own skin just come off under your nails. And that was one of the hardest parts. I was on my bunk at night in a pool of sweat, just tossing and turning. The itchiness just keep me awake all night long. And my head just going, thinking about, how many years I was facing.
Yeah. And that, that sort of mental torture. Because, all right, you're in prison, your liberty's been taken away, you can't, your freedom's gone. But then you've got these issues that you're having to face. I mean, that being one, so you're not getting much sleep because you're so uncomfortable, it's so hot. And then throw in the cockroaches, because you said that sort of nearly gave you a breakdown.
So a year in, I asked for a bail reduction and they doubled it to 1.5 million, which automatically sent me over to the maximum security Madison Street jail. This was around 2003, and it was about 2 a.m. when I arrived at the cell. There's a bit of light slanting in. And I noticed my cellmate is asleep on the top bunk, which is unusual because people fight over the bottom. So I walk in, and something drops off the ceiling and bounces off my shoulder. I'm like, what the hell is that? And then there's this weird swirl movement on the walls and the ceiling, the block, the cracks. And I go up and look, and it's just covered in cockroaches, the American cockroach. It's like the size of an almond nut. And they're just swirling and swirling around everywhere. So he was up here, I'm down there. And the reason he was up there was a bracket in the wall. And there was a hole next to the bracket. And they were just pouring out of the hole onto the bunk I was asleep on.
Oh.
So I was like, how on earth am I going to do this? He was wrapped. He'd mummified himself,
Yeah.
even on the top bunk. And you can do that if you can bear the heat.
Yeah.
But if you wrap a sheet around you in that heat, there's a thing called a swamp cooler, and the air coming out of it is as warm as your breath. The only day it ever worked was when the county health inspector walked through the building.
Yeah.
So you wrap the sheet around you to keep them off you. And in the end, you're just like, you can't. You're so hot. And then they start out tickling your feet, coming up your legs. So many nights, I just woke up from tickling my fingers, my hands, and I'm like just flicking them across the room, trying to go back to sleep, flicking them. And then they get on your face, mouth, nose. But the favourite place of all is going in your ears to eat your earwax. It's like honey to them. Even if I ripped a bit of towel and dug in my ears to get the earwax out, and then hung that little bit of cloth under the sink, the cockroaches would get on the flannel and they'd be pulsing on the earwax, trying to suck the earwax out of the flannel. But I learned the habits of them. I lived in the maximum security jail for my second year and 2 months. So you've just got to be at harmony with your cellmates at some point or other.
Yeah.
And I learned all their characteristics. So they have it looks like a worm that the babies come in.
Right.
Piece of a worm. And they attach it somewhere when it's ready to hatch.
Yeah.
So either under a bunk. A lot of times I'd find them in my books. But if you don't find them and get rid of them, then all the babies come out and all the babies are streaming everywhere. So I saw the occasional white one. If you try to attack them, they release a chemical smell. And the warrior ones come running under your cell door like, what's going on kind of a thing. They are really clever.
Yeah.
If you try and drown them in the toilet, they look like they're drowned, they're motionless, and they're all shrunk.
Mm.
But what they're actually doing is holding oxygen to themselves.
No
And
way.
you could slam them down on the floor and pancake them down. And they'd be laid there for a few hours. They'd be on a bunk reading. And then you'd look over. And it's reforming and it's walking off.
Oh my God. Jeez, honestly, the things you must have seen in there. Quick question about PTSD and insects now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about insects now? Like if you felt something touching you, say if you was asleep and you felt something touch you, like here, obviously we haven't got that problem, but like, does it affect you now?
So my partner Jen is extremely insectophobic. I've been broken in. So for example, we were in a prison at one point and I was in the part of it that was underground almost, but my cell window was at the level of the grass.
Yeah.
So all the insects and mosquitoes that are at that grass level would just pile in. This was in a minimum security prison, so I was allowed a little rotary fan at this point. So they're coming in at night, the mosquitoes, sucking the blood out of me, flying a bit under the influence, and the fan is sucking them in. So I'm waking up to the wall splattered in all my blood and mangled mosquito parts every morning.
Oh my God.
You just get used to it. It's the more dangerous ones you got to be aware of. Like, they had a variety of scorpions, but they had a little transparent one, which would give you a hell of a bite, hell of a sting. So you got to like carefully remove those from the cell. And the spiders, the brown recluse spider, I never got bit by it, but I assisted in the squeezing out of the pus.
I've read it.
Yeah.
I've gone past that bit in the book. Horrible.
It would come in at night looking for food. You roll around your sleep, you touch it. And then you just wake up with these 2 little pinpricks. And some people are like, no big deal. But then the pus starts to come out and it eats down into your flesh, down to the bone on some occasions.
Yeah.
Causes what's called a volcano lesion. Now, these guys who've been bitten had these horrible injuries. Like, some of them were bigger than the guys who'd been shot.
Yeah.
And we take them to the guards, and the guards would say it's the policy of the jail not to treat insect bites. You deal with it. So there was a case where there was a guy, I think I called him Alejandro, big Chicano gang member who's been involved in a drive-by shooting.
Yeah.
Every night he was coming out looking at the news because the people he'd shot were in comas and stuff. One woman, the bullet went through and took off a nipple.
Yeah.
So some of them were on life support. Now, if any of them died, he was up for the death penalty.
Yeah.
So he got bitten on his back by virtue of his size. And big guy's arm locked him on either side in the day room. We had a Russian guy who had been in the military, said he knew how to dress wounds. The Russian is manipulating this. It looked like a baseball of yellow plasma was trying to come out of his back. So the Russian's massaging the wound. All this pus is streaming down his back. I've got the toilet paper, mopping it up.
Ugh.
And this is going on for ages, like 15 minutes in. We're like, he starts dragging everybody across the room. He's got sweat dripping off his ears, his chin. We need more guys to hold him. So, like, more guys are grabbing him now, holding him steady, getting the final pus out. And then when all the pus was out, what the Russian guy did for him, he said the best thing he could do was put salt on the wound to reduce the bacteria.
Jeez.
But go forward a year when I'm in max security, I started a competition called Sufferer of the Week.
Yes, I've read that bit.
So a lot of people are indigent. So anyone who had money on their books would donate like a Snickers bar or a little packet of peanuts or something as a jackpot. And whoever went through the worst thing that week would win the jackpot.
Yeah.
Now, there was a guy being bitten by the brown recluse. I think it was on his thumb. So he gets the little pinpricks. Then it's going red. Then the pussy's coming out. Then it's eating into his thumb, making a crater into his thumb. And this is going on day after. And he's showing the officers and the policy of the jail not to treat the insect bites. So anyway, this is going on for weeks now. It's gone red, purple, blue, black, green, and now mold is growing on it.
What?
Yeah, so now they got to take him to the doctor. And then when he comes back, he's got no thumb. They had to cut it off. So he won the Sufferer of the Week. And he said it was worth losing his thumb just to get the Snickers bar because he was so hungry in there.
Oh my God. How is that even happened?
It's just insane, isn't it? That's just reality. You just got to get used to it.
So, I mean, I think it's safe to say that you've seen some sights in there.
Yes.
What is the worst? What would you say was the worst thing you ever saw in jail?
So there's two categories of bad things.
Mm.
Because a lot of the worst things, you don't get to see them because they're done in blind spots, but people tell you about them. So there's things that people tell me about, the things that I actually saw. So in general, what I saw, as soon as you're going in, you know, there's fights constantly in the jail. It's mayhem. Everyone's on remand. People coming and going. Gangbangers with street rivalries. Homeless people, drunk people, tasered people. People in fights with the cops. And it is just helter-skelter. So you got 3 to a cell designed for one person. 45 people living in an area for 15 people in medium security towers, which is what I was housed in 2002. So you're hearing, you get used to the sound of a body getting thrown against the wall. You know what a head getting smashed against the toilet sounds like. I got used to seeing people's teeth just get knocked out and bounce on the floor. People getting down and dirty in fights, trying to bite people's ears off, trying to bite people's fingers off. There was a mentally ill old man who wouldn't stop rambling, and I don't know what the gang did to him, but as I walked past him, blood just squirting out the back of his head. I saw a guy with his leg pointing in the completely wrong direction.
Yeah.
I saw just so many things. Fight after fight, guard brutality. There was a cage fighter in the Gravedigger, and the guards were just letting him go at it with people.
Yeah.
And just probably taking bets on who's going to win. Yeah, it's mayhem. And I was shitting it going into that.
Yeah, of course.
My heart was going, if you ever held a mouse or a bird.
And you can feel.
Yeah. So my heart is going like that all night long against my mattress. The first couple of nights, I can't sleep like a jackhammer.
Yeah.
And then they're coming up to me. You got to get that look of shock off your face, or else you're going to get preyed on next.
Yeah.
Putting even more pressure on you, more stress.
Yeah.
But 6 months in, I've got what's called dead eyes, whereby your face is just completely blank because you can't show any weakness because it's going to get preyed on.
Yeah. And you're living it then, so it's becoming the norm.
Yeah, it is.
So what's the stuff that people told you about that you didn't say?
Oh. So I knew a trans prisoner who ended up, when this person came in, I'll say she thinks she's a woman trapped in a man's body. When she first came in, clicked up with the AB, the Aryan Brotherhood of the Nazis, as debt collector, and it's blood in, blood out, and these gangs use people up and brutalise them. So we were writing a blog to raise awareness of prison rape, and I said, what happened? And she said, the first time was a gang rape. They beat me up, beat me unconscious, raped me while I was unconscious, and shoved things inside my body. And I said, well, how do you know if you were unconscious they were shoving things inside your body? And she said, when I went to the toilet after, I could tell by what came out.
Did she say what it was?
A broomstick.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So, and I said, well, what was like the aftermath like? Because this was continuously happening. I sat on my stool waiting for the scars to go away. I got moved to another yard, but the same thing happened. They beat me up. They used me as a sex toy, a prostitute, a punk. You can do absolutely nothing to the purpose. You know, you can't snitch on the perpetrators. Otherwise, they'll put you in a dungeon for years and say it's for your own protection. The victim is labelled a rat, a punk, and considered less than human. And she started crying at that point, but she came back later on to finish the blog. And I said, well, how did you stop it? And she said, I took the abuse for as long as I could, but I started fighting. I won most of the fights. Great. When you stood up and you're ruthless, that's how I stopped it. But she hadn't told me the truth. So the trans, they're very hip with anatomy. They study anatomy. A lot of them have got the Mosby's Medical Dictionary. And we'll get to why they do that. But this person came up with an idea, and the next 2 times the gang members came to rape her, as soon as the first person put his hand on her, she just went in and pulled the eyeball out, so it was dangling from the optic nerve. So after doing that twice, she was classified as extremely dangerous, but they moved on to some of her friends. So one was gang raped. They took a light bulb, shoved it in his backside, and took bets on who could smash it first. And that prisoner committed suicide afterwards. Another prisoner was gang raped, and then they got a shovel from the work crew, held him down and cut his head off. And they positioned the head in an area of the prison where the other gangs would see it to make the point they were the most violent gang, and that was the Aryan Brotherhood. And then in more recent years, this person woke up one morning, no painkillers, drank a cup of coffee, took a razor blade and started to cut his testicles off.
Right.
And he got the right side off. What they do is the testicles are on two branches called the vas deferens. This is where the Mosby's Medical Dictionary comes in. And you sever through the cord.
Right, yeah.
And then you can get the testicle off.
Okay.
But once she'd done that to one side, the other one must have been aware of what was coming and retracted inside. So she's got her hand in her guts up here looking for it. And this is knocking off now where she's got it to stop the blood. And the blood's starting to come out quite heavy. But she's thinking this is a one-shot deal. I got to get this done. She said she could feel her internal organs and stuff as she's scrambling around to try and find this testicle, but she couldn't find it. And then the red-hot pain started to kick in. So she wrote me like a 10-page letter in excruciating detail about the whole thing, which is in my book, Prison Time. It's the next one after that. But it's people in the reviews are saying they can't even read it. It's so full on.
I'll read
that part where she's talking about it's called an orchiectomy. So in the end, the blood's squirting across the room, and she goes unconscious. The red hot pain has been kicking in, but another prisoner spots, and then they got a helicopter to the prison just in time to save her life. But then a year or so ago, she got released. Actually, let me go back. The trans prisoners, they like to stop the testosterone and get estrogen smuggled in so they feel more at peace. So she was on suicide watch for a year and then cut the other side off.
Right.
And they just cauterised the wound with a cigarette lighter. There was another trans who'd done it before this person, and I met this other trans, and she'd done it successfully, cauterised the wound with a cigarette lighter, and it had gone like gangrene or rotten or something, and she had to go to medical, and that's how she got caught for cutting them off. But in the first person's case, suicide watch, cut it off after a year, got released. I was speaking to her, sent her some money, trying to help her because she was really struggling, depressed, didn't understand technology, institutionalized. But she ended up committing suicide by cop. Went out, did a robbery, threw the money on the floor, pulled a gun on the cops, and they shot her dead.
How sad.
Yeah.
So you stayed in touch then after you left?
Stay in touch with all the prisoners.
Really?
So my blog that's started in hard time, my writing getting smuggled out, a lot of it later on became about me putting the prisoners' stories out there.
Yeah.
And then they started to get pen pals and books sent to them and even visits.
Brilliant.
And can you imagine how golden that is? One of the most popular guys, and he took me under his wing later on and got me out of some situations, was a guy called Two Tonys, Banano crime family associate, doing 140 plus years. He left the dead bodies of rival gangsters from Arizona to Alaska, and he asked me to write his life story. And yeah, he was just proper old school, don't harm women or kids, but because he'd murdered gangsters, top of the respect in the prison. So for him, my parents would mail in the blog comments, and he's reading the comments, some school teacher in Singapore asking him questions about his mafia life, and he's like, Shaun, I thought I was just going to die in here and never be able to communicate with the outside world. And now I've got some school teacher in Singapore asking me questions about my mafia life. And you could see it just warmed his heart.
Oh, it's warming my heart. Does that make you feel good?
Yeah, it really did. And a community of people built around the blog in the prison. And when I got in some scrapes, they stepped up and protected me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I feel like I'd be like this in prison. And I'll come on to something in a bit because this must be Injustice of the Week. Carl probably already knows if you've looked at my socials. But I feel like, and in fact, I said to one of my friends this week about, let's just pretend that I was sent to prison. And I was like, I'd be absolutely sound in jail. And she was like, you would? I know you would. You'd make friends with everyone and you'd get a little community going on. And that is exactly what I would do. Because I feel like, I don't know why, but that is the kind of thing that I would do. You know, like, whatever, sort a community, bring them together.
You've got a very warm energy about you. And because of your work, you've seen traumatic events. And I think traumatized people relate to traumatized people. They can just see it in their eyes. And most people in prison are heavily traumatized from childhood.
That's a very, very summarised version of what's happened in terms of you made $1 million in your 20s. You threw rave parties in Arizona. You flew your mates over from Manchester and Liverpool, and how long did it take them to catch up with you?
Take the cops?
Yeah.
So I started experimenting with ecstasy dealing around 96,
Oh,
97.
okay.
And then SWAT team came May 16, 2002.
So a good 5-6 years.
I had a good run.
You did have a good run.
Yeah.
And at that point, obviously, then you're in prison. You've done 6 years.
Yeah.
And when you've gone through sort of minimum, maximum, and medium security jails. Yeah.
No more than that.
Oh.
So that book is only the remand period.
Right. Yeah.
So I've gone through medium security jail.
Yep.
Maximum security jail. Prison time then is a whole different system. So in America, jail is remand unsentenced only. It's different from the UK where they can mix them up. Once you're sentenced, you go into the Department of Corrections. So then I get fast tracked to Supermax. Prosecutor accidentally puts my 9.5-year sentence down as 34 years, so I'm fast tracked to Supermax. Then I go to medium security Buckeye, medium security Tucson, minimum security Tucson, and then federal deportation prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's over what? How many years?
6.
So do they not count your remand time?
Yeah, that was part of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay, so from beginning to end.
Yeah.
So then the deportation bit, that's the last bit, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So once you're in there, you know you're on the home straight now, yeah?
But they can't tell you your day of release for security reasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then on the day of your release then,
Yeah.
so you get released, and is it just a case of right, off you go? No. Because you're banned from America now, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's for life, yeah? You can never ever go back there.
People never skip ahead to my deportation story, which is quite interesting.
I want to know this.
So,
because I've seen lots of the prison time stuff.
Yeah.
I've got so many questions. I don't think I'm going to be able
have you seen the movie Connor?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I'm in a deportation center, just me and all Mexicans.
Yeah.
And because I've learned a bit of Spanish now through associations in prison, the Mexicans asked me to ask the guards things and stuff like that. So that's one of my roles. Anyway, when they tell me to roll up to get ready to go, I'm in the transportation vehicle then, getting taken to this plane, a Connor plane. And we're all in there, all shackled up,
Yeah.
And they've got federal marshals guarding us. And you can't get up and have a piss or do anything. They're all just looking like they want to kill you, these marshals. And there's rows of prisoners. And the Mexicans are asking me to ask them stuff. And the guards are telling me to tell them, they're getting pissed off with the whole situation. And this is going on for hours. We're on this plane and it's not taking off. And in the end, they say the plane's broke and send us all back. So that's a day wasted. So now I've got to wait more, and in the end, I get to LA. And I'm in LA jail. The Connors going across California, dropping up and picking up Mexicans, creating work for themselves, basically, the feds. I get to this LA jail, and we're just in this holding tank all night long. And there's a guy in there who, in some $1 million cars, wrapped it around, and a high-speed chase has wrapped it around the lamppost. A famous Scandinavian gangster. I Googled him when I got out, and he's got his own wiki page and everything. So everyone's amazed because this guy's been all over the news. I don't know what kind of a car it was, but it was really high priced. So he's in there telling his story, and eventually everyone's just trying to quieten down and go to sleep because it's the middle of the night. But there's one guy who's completely lit, and he's like this Argentinian guy, and he's just big chested, muscle guy, and I think he said he was a personal trainer. He's like, I'm married to this, My wife's waiting for me in Argentina. She's an American supermodel, and she gives money to the homeless. And I wake up every day and I get a blowjob from her. And he's just going on and on and on, just telling these tall tales. But because we're also bored out of our minds. I mean, I'm like exhausted. And one minute I'm trying to sleep on one side of the room and it's not happening. And next minute I go back to the little circle of people listening to him. And the next minute I go back to the other corner of the room. And this is going on and on all night. Anyway, next day, right? I get called out to go to the airport.
Yeah.
And he gets called out on the same bus as me to go to the airport. So we're going to the airport and the traffic's gridlocked and everything's terrible. And what happens is, I think we're still in the van and the guard he's getting some radio contact and he starts looking over at us. And he's like, I've got bad news. We're not going to make your flight. We're going to have to reschedule it.
Again.
And I'm thinking, oh, no big deal. No, this is our main flight now, not the Conair one. This is like the international flight. And I'm thinking, no big deal, rescheduled. We'll probably just get the flight tomorrow. And the Argentinian looks at me. He's like punching his legs and rocking. I'm like, what's the matter with you? And he's like, do you know what rescheduled means? Because I've been in the deportation prison now for weeks. The whole process has to start again. Go back to the deportation prison, and it takes weeks to reschedule to get on another flight.
No.
So he's freaking out. And I'm like, oh, shit, man. My family going to be driving to the airport, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm so depressed now. If this guy's right, it's going to take weeks. So anyway, we're on the van back to the jail holding cell again. And as we get out, the Argentinian just freaks out. He just starts screaming, I need a cigarette, I need a cigarette.
Yeah.
And they just drag him off and throw him in a cubicle. And they put me back in. I'm thinking I'm going to have to go back from where I came from, or they're just going to hold me out here for weeks. And then the guard comes back and says, your flight was delayed, and I've been told we can actually still make it.
Yours?
Yeah.
Buzzing.
So, wham, off we go. Gridlock traffic. I'm thinking, oh, shit. Anyway, we get there, and I've not been able to have a wee in all this. And I said, I'm bursting for a piss. And he's like, you going to try something funny? I had a guy try something funny. He had to be rescheduled. I just want to go. I'm not going to try anything funny. I'll take you for it. I'm going to trust you. So anyway, we go where the men's room is. And the protocol is he's got to stand and watch me pee.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he needs to pee. So he's got to handcuff me to a rail in the toilet while he goes and has a piss. and then anyway, he says, we're going to put you on the plane first so you don't scare the passengers. So I go to the stairs up to the plane, and there's like this British cabin crew with this Cockney accent.
Oh.
And they speak to me for the first time like I'm a human being, I'm not a number.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, real people. And so they put me on the flight. And then all the passengers started getting on. And I've been around sweaty, hairy men for 6 years. And I can like smell the women's perfume and stuff. And but I made a mistake, didn't I? I put my hand up because right, I've been in transportation for days, and I'm paranoid that I'm stinking.
Yeah.
So I want to go and have what's called a bird bath. So in jail, when you're locked down, you basically no access to the showers.
No.
So you got this little sink thing, and you just wash your nuts and your armpits in the sink. Yeah. So I think I need to go and have a bird bath, And I put my hand up and asked permission to go to the toilet.
Oh.
And she's like, you don't need to ask. It's right there. I'm going red and people looking at me. So I went and like cleaned myself up a bit. And then I was just so excited, just buzzing on that flight.
Are you cuffed at this point?
No, they took the cuffs off me when they put me up the stairs for the flight.
So once you're on that flight, you're free?
Yeah, because in my case, I was free. But with Wildman, because he was considered so dangerous, he had a federal marshal bring him all the way back to the UK. He'd already been deported multiple times and banned from America.
Multiple times?
Yeah.
And he just kept coming back?
We kept smuggling him in. We get like Mission Impossible style teams of people, crews of people, to bring him back in through Canada or Mexico.
What?
Yeah.
This is absolutely mental.
His first trip, he was deemed a menace to society and banned from America for life. His first trip, I put him in a house next to the George and Dragon British pub in Central Phoenix, thinking he'd just have some beers with the expats and wouldn't get in any trouble.
Yeah.
Within a couple of months of going over to his pad, me and my girlfriend arrived one night and a bunch of Mexicans answered the door. And I'm like, where's Peter? Peter's his name. No, Peter, yeah. Yeah, Peter, where's Peter? You say, pizza? No, Peter. And they start displaying guns. So me and my girlfriend start backtracking across the road.
Yeah.
Wild man just bounces over the road, all smiles. I'm like, what's going on with your pad, man? We could have just got shot. Why haven't you told us what you've done? He's like, well, they're the local crack dealers. They like to move around a lot. They're buzzing because I could do $100 crack rock in one breath. That's a Colombian guy at the back of him who's running them. And he wants to invest in the stock market through you. And I'm like, oh, my God. So anyway, it gets worse. A few weeks later, I'm in the stock brokerage and I get a call from my aunt that Peter's house is headline news. There's yellow tape around it. Someone's been shot dead. I need to get my ass over there. He might be dead. So I drove down there. I had drugs in the car. There was the cops, the camera crews, people out everywhere, yellow tape. I got paranoid and left. I go back later in the day when there's nobody there. And I walk, there's blood on the step. And I walk in, and Peter is in the living room with a homicide cop. And the homicide cop asked me who I am, how I facilitated the rent for him and all this kind of stuff. Got my details at the stock brokerage. And when all that was squared away, I learned what happened from Peter when we came back outside. So what happened was a couple came over to buy crack from the Mexicans. The Mexicans had gone back over the street. The man had a gun. The woman went to buy the drugs. The man showed Peter the gun because he'd never seen guns before. And Wildman said, how does it work? And he goes, well, the safety's on, so I'll show you. And he pulled the trigger and just shot himself in the head right in front of Wildman and fell dead on the step.
Oh, my God.
So then Wildman moved to the west side, in with some females he knew from the drug community, who were living with this bouncer who was like this Chippendale guy, this steroid head, big muscles guy, who was claiming to be a gangster disciple. And I wrote the check for the deposit. And the next day, the landlady says, he's been evicted. I said, why has he been evicted? He's beat his roommate up. How do you know he's beat his roommate up? Because there's human head-sized holes in all the walls, and his roommate was seen fleeing for his life through the apartment complex with plasterboard powder all over his head.
Oh, my God.
Fortunately, that check hadn't been cashed, so I just stopped it.
Yeah.
Then one of the females took him to Tempe, was the next one, a huge apartment complex called Rancho Murrieta. And Wildman was stable there for a bit, but he met this woman.
Not Wild Woman.
No, he told Wildman he's going to the shop and just jumped on a plane. So he's having house parties now constantly at this new place. And Wildman's party trick was he'd just sit there and he had a taser and he'd say, anyone in the room want to punch me as hard as they can in the face or taser me, please do, I love it. So people just lining up, tasering, and punching him in the face. And he's giggling like his toes are getting tickled.
What?
So this chick comes up to him. So she's like a black striptease dancer who's into S&M and got all these scars all over herself. And she goes, you tasering you, that's nothing. I taser my pussy. And I can see these two. It's like love at first sight kind of thing.
Yeah.
But she's got this boyfriend with her. And so we're like, he's like, show us. And she sends a boyfriend to get heat something up in the kitchen, some spaghetti bolognese. It's a crazy story. There's much more details in Party Time. I'll get you that one next.
Yeah.
So what happens is the boyfriend goes off. I say to the room, right, this lady's going to show us something right now. Everyone might want to just stop and look. She hikes her skirt up. She's got no nicks on, squats down. Now, you've used tasers in your job, haven't you? And you've seen the little bolts of blue that come out of them.
Yeah.
So they are basically dancing up and down her female parts, those bolts of blue. And she's just, her eyes are rolling and everything.
What?
So it's even more love at first sight between these two now.
Yeah.
Boyfriend comes back. He grabs the food off him, man. Says, you do a good spaghetti bolognese or something. She's moving in with me. And we're going to go yours and get all her stuff later on. Have you got a problem with that? This is how upfront he was. He was just saying anything to anyone. He didn't give a shit. And then this guy was a bouncer, the guy. He was a big guy. And there was a standoff for a little bit. And then the guy just backed down and you could see Wildman was completely crazy. He'd been up for days on crack and crystal meth, and his eyes were just bright red like the devil. Yeah. And he just loved fighting. So this guy just backed down and left. And then we collected the clothes later on. Wildman went over there with a guy called Seth, who worked as a stockbroker but started hanging out with Wildman, got on crystal meth, threw a computer at our boss and got fired.
What?
Yeah, and he started collecting crack debts for the Colombians with Wildman in Central Phoenix. Anyway, Seth and Wildman went to get her clothes, successfully brought them back. The police raided that apartment. That was the last place Wildman was housed. He was just banned from everywhere. Hotels, no one would house him. So he ended up living in Tempe Beach Park under a tree with a baseball bat and a Rambo knife with the striptease girl. And they were like Bonnie and Clyde. And the homeless people lived there as well. And these thugs were coming, beating the homeless people up. And Wildman took the baseball bat to them and became king of the homeless people. They all worshipped him.
Oh,
yes, but
he's a good-hearted person.
Yeah, he was in many ways. So they were like Bonnie and Clyde, going in clothes shops and just walking out with the clothes, going in restaurants and not paying. They got busted at a restaurant, and that was Wildman's first deportation coming to an end.
So when you got deported, so you're taken up now, you're put on the flight, and you're then basically free. You're having your bird bath on the plane.
Yeah.
And then when you land, where at London airport, yeah?
Yeah. There's a video of me. Is it Heathrow or Gatwick? Can't remember. But there's some grainy footage of me on my YouTube channel, and I'm all stubbled out and bug-eyed and pale, and I just look like I've come off a battlefield or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got two questions. So the first one, when you land at the London airport and you're now a free man.
Yeah.
First of all, were your parents there to meet you?
Oh yeah, in the video, my mum and dad are crying and hugging me, and then we get in the car and we're driving away from the airport, and my sister's trying to explain to me what texting is, showing me her phone and texting. And then they take me to an Indian restaurant, and I stay the night at my sister's house, and then we come back to my hometown. So I breezed through the airport. When Wildman got to the airport, he asked me to bring him a 2-litre finger cider, which he guzzled in one breath. And as he was guzzling it, he came through all right. When I picked him up, he looked like a sumo. He had this long hair, and he was in this white paper prison suit, and he was just this big. And he just looked like this sumo, and he guzzled this cider. And next thing it said, Peter Mahoney come to such and such a desk over the intercom on the whole airport.
Right.
But time to go, and we just left.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So that was my second question. So when Wildman arrived, so you're in the UK.
Yeah.
Wildman now comes and he's deported. Yeah, you bring him the cider.
Yeah.
So you two now reunited in the UK, and you're not going back now. Obviously, you can't go back to America. No desires to go back.
Banned for life, both
yeah.
of us. Yeah.
But he was banned for life, but he kept going back.
True, yeah.
So now you're both back in the UK.
Yeah.
What year is it now?
So I got released December 2007, and I think he got out the next year.
So 2008-ish, end of.
Yeah.
So from then, you're both now in the UK.
Yeah.
You've had this wild life together.
Yeah.
So what happened?
We start doing podcasts. In the beginning, I'm just going to Wildman's house.
Yeah.
Sat next to him on his sofa with the camera on a tripod. He's guzzling his cider.
On the podcast, because I've not watched any of these yet. So this is my weekend.
It was just me and Wildman doing videos together to an audience. Like, they'd send us questions, and I'd print them out, and I'd ask him the questions. And it was really interesting. That was Wildman's introduction to YouTube. So we did that for about a year or so. I think 2010, 11, around then, and or maybe even later. And then he started co-hosting with me. Yeah. With the guests in the north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you see, my brother Ryan, who you've met, and another, actually, I want to say a friend of mine who's been on the podcast, Aaron Ashton. The day that I'd spoke to you and you said to me, come up and do a podcast episode, and we'd arranged the date and we'd got it all sorted, was the day that Aaron came on to this show and did an episode with me. But since I've occasionally stayed in touch with him over various different bits and pieces on socials, and he said he's been following you from the beginning.
Really?
So he knows all about the Wildman story. So I know about this stuff through Aaron and my brother.
Yeah.
But not physically seen. I have actually not physically seen Wildman myself, because I'm reading all about it in the books. Yeah. So I can't wait to have a proper look now.
I think there's over 200 videos with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's endless days and days of footage.
Yeah. So you got into that together, and then he started co-hosting with you.
Yeah.
And where did it go? Because obviously I know where, but for
Wildman was buzzing off it. He loved it. We would if we were on the road and we pulled into a service station, he'd get mobbed by a load of lads wanting to get pictures with him and stuff. He said when he went on his holidays, everywhere he went, people coming up offering to buy him beers, which was his favourite thing.
Yeah.
After every podcast we did, he insisted I stop at Bargain Booze, so we could get his cider. And one of the last trips we went to Bargain Booze, the price of cider had gone up like 10p. and his head almost exploded. Flames were coming out of his ears. He was looking at the person behind the counter. It's gone up 10p.
So with that then, I take it that you don't take drugs anymore.
No.
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 But he didn't stop, did he? So
he was down to alcohol and weed. I've named baby Ziggy after Wildman, Ziggy Wilder. So when we were up in the north recently with Wildman's cousin Hammy, we did a little pilgrimage, and we went to some places, and one of them was the Bargain Booze, and we went in and we spoke to the staff with baby Ziggy, and we took a photo outside of Bargain Booze as well.
Oh.
But the other place as well that's got people visiting it. So Peck's Hill is part of Widnes at the top of it, and there's a quarry and there's a tree overlooking Peck's Hill called the Thinking Tree. So when we were teenagers, me, Wildman and Hammy would sit on the Thinking Tree, and Hammy would be like, "What are you guys going to do when you grow up?" And Wildman's like, "I've got red dots in my head telling me to hurt people. I'm going to go to prison." And I'd be like, "I know, I'm going to make $1 million and fly you over to America and get you a job fighting Hulk Hogan and the British Bulldog and Andre the Giant and all this stuff." And Wildman did go to prison, and I did go and I did fly him over. It all came through.
It all came through?
Yeah.
No way. But
Yeah.
I know, and the bits I've read in the book, because you're sober in jail, like you even have
it's a wake-up call I needed.
Yeah, and you don't even have... Pretty much to where I'm at now, it's been a non-smoking cell that you're in.
Yeah.
You don't even want them smoking in there around you.
No.
And so how is that for you now? Like your way of life now that you're out, and I know I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but now that you're out, like how do you ever drink? Do you ever socialise with any of that stuff?
All right, when I got released,
Yeah.
Hammy took me to some pubs in Widnes.
Yeah.
A couple of pints aside, I was passed out.
Yeah, yeah.
But for a year or so, socialising with the lads, I always felt I had to have a drink. When I moved down south, started hanging out with my body combat instructor. He was the life and soul of the party, dancing all night, last to go home, never touched alcohol. And seeing him do it made me realise you don't have to be on something to have a good time. And it was awkward at first, not drinking around people. I was so conscious of it. You're so indoctrinated and socially conditioned from childhood to just drink.
Yeah.
And they were taking the piss out of me. And now I laugh at them when they're drinking because I'm sober, but I'm buzzing anyway off their energy, so I don't need anything. We still go raving.
Yeah.
So we've got some DJs, mostly out of Europe, Germany, a lot of them. Jan Blomqvist is one of them. When Jen was out here pregnant, we went to a festival in Holland where he was playing. We were up on the blocks, dancing our asses off, and all the local women were coming up to Jen. "I was sat at home when I was that pregnant. How are you up here dancing?"
Yeah, yeah.
So what I learned is that happiness is in your thoughts and in your heart. And if you're not insecure, you don't need to change your biochemistry. If you're happy enough in your own skin, you can go out and have a good time and just close your eyes, listen to the music, dance. You don't need to change your biochemistry.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I've got an addictive personality. That's why I've got to stay with it. I know most people are doing a little something or other. I'm not knocking that. But for people who've got addictive personalities like me, we don't know where to stop. So I could just have a few drinks. That could lead to doing a line or something, or having a disco biscuit. Next thing, there's mayhem and SWAT teams coming.
Jesus Christ.
I know that, so I've got to keep that under control.
You've got to keep it under wraps,
Yeah.
So, obviously, the story goes that, you got out, you've started your podcast with Wildman and stuff, you met Jen.
Yeah.
And you've had a baby, and you've got a very stable and lovely life.
Yeah.
Now.
The Ziggy has come about because of Wildman's death.
Okay.
Because it was Jen who became my co-host.
Yes.
So I only asked her to become my co-host because Wildman was no longer with us.
Yeah.
And it was her becoming my co-host led to us getting together.
Yeah.
And having Ziggy.
Isn't it funny how things work out?
Yeah.
Just briefly, how do you feel about him passing?
Oh, really sad. I was interviewed on True Geordie at the time. I was crying my eyes out.
Yeah.
Stephen Gillen's channel, I was still a bit raw there, crying as well. And but I just think the spirit of these people is in me. So I did ayahuasca. When was it? Last year. And my ayahuasca experience was really intense. Like, Jen just fell asleep, but mine, Oh my God. I was in a yurt and the ceiling descended like it was a seashell. And I knew I was gone at that point. And I'm just telling myself, hold on, hold on. Oh, I can see all these colours. And I close my eyes. I can still see, putting the brakes on a bit. But eventually I close my eyes. I can still see the colours. And I'm just leaning back and I'm gone. And I went to this realm where all my friends who've died came and spoke to me collectively.
Yeah.
And I thought it was real, and my brain still thinks it's real because I can't comprehend how it could possibly have happened. It's like I went to this, through this, I don't know, this door into this other world, and Wildman's leading the conversation, and they're all laughing together and saying that they're proud of me having a family and baby Ziggy and Jen and all this stuff, and I'm happy for my success. And so I think that's given me closure, to be honest.
Yeah.
That I know he said he's protecting me from above.
Oh, he is.
So I've got that, and I don't feel like traumatized anymore. I feel like he's just with me.
Yeah.
Because the day it happened, I was about to film 3 podcasts.
Okay.
And I got word on the way, and I just filmed the 3 podcasts.
Did you still do it? Yeah.
Because it hadn't registered.
Yeah, that'd be something I'd do.
I didn't know. My brain wouldn't accept he was dead.
Mm.
So I was just in a daze, and I just did the podcast. It didn't start hitting me until the following days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just a real sadness, you know. It's because it is, isn't it? It's your best mate, man. Like
He chose to live larger than life.
Yeah.
Anything extreme he would do. Extreme amount of drugs he would do. We were driving to some rave in California. I think we were on acid. And we sketched out and thought the cops were behind us. We're like, what are we going to do with the drugs? I'll eat them. Well, man, we'll eat them.
Mm.
And there was like an ounce of crystal meth in there.
You'd have died.
A normal person would have died. He ate it all. So we get to a rave in Big Bear Lake, California, on a mountain which is freezing cold. We're in our sandals and desert clothes. All the ravers come out giving us like coats and stuff. Well, man, he's pouring sweat.
Of course he is.
He's sweating all these drugs out, and his eyes are always popping out of his head.
How did he not die?
Well, he did. I think the damage was cumulative because when he got arrested, they had to put a stent in his heart.
Yeah.
There was times when he would just go walk about for days on crystal meth and we wouldn't even see him. And he would get dehydrated and overheat and go to hospital. One of the times he'd been on walkabout, we found him in the hospital and they had all of these things and the scanners and everything attached to him and the beep, beep, beep. And he said to me, give us an ecstasy. And I just assumed he was going to eat it when he got out of the hospital.
Yeah, yeah. So you gave it to him. And
Popped it right there.
My God.
And then 30 minutes later, beep, 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 beep. We all ran out, just legged it.
Oh my God, you've lived some life.
But he chose to live that hard and fast. So, it's a tragedy when you burn out like that. But it was his decision ultimately. And there's just so many stories about him.
Yeah,
that go down in the legends.
To get well stuck into some of these videos.
Oh my
that's what I'm going to be doing. But just before we move on to like another feature, what I quickly wanted to say was me and Carl, I introduced a psychic medium. So I did an interview with a psychic medium.
Yeah.
And she's since started a podcast with Carl. Katie Halliwell, her name is.
Yeah.
She's had the gift she says we're all born with the gift anyway, to be able to connect with spirits. So from when you're a newborn baby, you can connect with spirits. And that's why a lot of kids see things. What's that noise, Carl? So, thanks. He's giving him a knock to tell him to shut up. So, but the point is, she says that we are surrounded by spirit guides. So up until lately, has it been a couple of years since he's passed?
Yeah,
2 years.
I think it's about 3. It must be getting on for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Up until then, you might have been surrounded by spirit guides, yeah?
Two Tonys was definitely with me, the spirit of Two Tonys.
Yeah, and now Wild Man's with you as well.
Yeah.
So, because sometimes we know them and sometimes we don't know them, but he will definitely be with you now. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah. R.I.P. Cody Bates, Acid Joey, all these guys came to me on the ayahuasca. It was amazing.
Yeah. So, because I could talk to you all day and all night, but there's a feature I do of the podcast called the Spin Justice of the Week.
Yeah.
So it's like where if you've got something that's pissed you off lately, it doesn't have to be in the last week, something that you want to have a little rant about, anything that's just boiled your piss, as I like to say. So I'll start with mine so you get a flavour of what it is.
Okay.
And then I'll see if you've got one.
Yeah.
But I've already told you what mine is anyway. So I took my boys on holiday and I got fined. Did you know that I got fined, Carl?
I saw a letter on your story. They tried to find me, you know.
I did that.
Yeah, but I told them that, I rang the school pretty much every day. Said that Kai was ill.
Okay.
But then they tried to ring Lois back.
And they got an international dialing tone. Yeah. So I didn't say that anyone was sick. I said, we're going on holiday. And they said, it's unauthorised. 6 weeks later, I got a penalty notice from Worcester County Court, right? So I was fucking fuming, right? And I thought, I'm not going to do anything yet because I've really learnt over the years that I need to calm down before I act. So one of a good role model in my life at the moment, he always says to me, just go, walk away, and don't act yet. So I left it a couple of days, yeah? Calm down. Anyway, there's a good little ending to this because I contacted the council and they basically said, this is all at the discretion of the head teacher. I suggest you contact them and give them your circumstances. Anyway, I did. It's been withdrawn, Carl. So my penalty notice for taking them on holiday has actually been withdrawn.
Good.
So I've actually got quite a good ending to this week because it started off rage central. I was fuming. And then I had to go and teach a spin class and I was like, I'm so raging. I don't know how I'm going to now focus my energy on the bike, but I did. I put my phone in aeroplane mode. I thought, right, zone out, and I did. And then I was up really late that night researching laws and stuff because I actually said, I'm not paying it. Yeah. I'm not having someone tell me when I can take my kids on holiday. It ain't happening. But then the more laws I research, and then I've got people telling me I've tried to fight it and I've had the bailiffs round. And I thought, I ain't fucking letting the bailiffs in so they can go and whistle. I'll go to court and then I'm not paying the court fine. I'll go to prison. I'm not bothered. And then my boss told me that I couldn't have prison time as annual leave. So I was like, fine. Anyway, it hasn't gone that far. Yeah. So that's mine of this week because I still disagree with it. I still think that who are they to tell us when we take our kids on holiday? And I do also think that the airline companies are just completely taking the piss out of us because they know that they're going to put the prices up in the school holidays and then everyone's got to pay it. So that's a piss take. But mine's had an all right ending. So have you got a spin justice of the week?
So I got contacted by someone who lives at the place I lived at 2 years ago, saying that the bailiffs had been there looking for me. Yeah. And I said to him, what's the bailiff's number and all that stuff. So I spoke to the bailiff. I said, what are you doing at my 2-year-old address? Yeah. And he goes, well, you got a bus lane ticket in Bristol. And I said, well, I'm not at that old address anymore. And he says, well, you've got to pay it to me now over the phone. And how much is it? It's like, I don't know, almost $1,000 or something because it's gone.
It's gone through all the. Oh my God.
So I said to him, I'm going to try and contact the council first because, of course, I'm not going to pay him right away over the phone, which is what they always say. Yeah. So the council said to me, the protocol is that we email you these forms. Yeah. Can't remember the names, and they're very technical. And you fill these forms out and you say the reason that you never received it in the first place. Yeah. And we adjudicate it, make a decision, and we can put it back down to the original fine. Okay. So I just got the original fine in the middle. So hey. F you, bailiff.
Yeah? Pay me $1,000 now.
I know.
Like swivel.
Well, the other two things that have triggered my activism, it was Keir Starmer, but now it's Trump and them not releasing the Epstein files. Yeah. It's like the biggest news story in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. You talk a lot about Epstein and that on your channel, don't you? I do listen. I do listen.
They all said, we're going to release the files. It's on my desk. There's videos. There's lists of famous wealthy people going with kids. Yeah. They all said it. Yeah. And now there's like 4 of them, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and now they're all saying the exact opposite. There's no files. There's nothing to see. Files doesn't exist. It's a conspiracy theory.
Right. So what do you think then? What's your view on that? Because I've got a clear view straight away.
The people in power control the politicians and tell them what to do. They're not in power.
Yeah. So there is a file.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is a file.
Yeah.
And
Bill Clinton's at the top, followed by Prince Andrew.
And exactly. So obviously, it's going to cause damage, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why all of a sudden there's no file. I think we're fucking brand new.
They think we're idiots. So condescending. Yeah.
So, oh God, I could really, really go in on this now, but I won't, because that's another. I'd love to sit on a panel of yours, like when you talk about things, because honestly, some of the things that you talk about. I've just got one real quick question, actually, before we move on to any shout-outs. Did he?
Did he?
What do you think?
The fix was in from the get-go with Comey. The Comey family are brought in. Like, when things happen, they want them covered up. If it's a legal thing, they'll bring the Comeys in. If it's a corpse thing, they'll bring the Baden in, or they'll bring Fahmy Malek in, these coroners. Fahmy Malek worked for the Clintons. Right. If someone had been shot in the head, he'd say they'd drowned in a swimming pool. That's how blatant his rulings were. So we knew from Comey being involved in the legal side of the Diddy case. We've got a guy called Lionel, the ex-prosecutor, and Professor Hamamoto. Professor Hamamoto noticed this from the get-go, said the fix was in. All minimised, got a very low charge, and beat the big charges, gets to keep his empire, got the street cred now of not snitching. Yeah. He's a certified pimp.
Yep, I agree. And I remember because I tried purposely not to follow it because it just makes me sick. Yeah. But obviously I saw the ruling when it came out and what the outcome was, and I was just like, what an absolute joke. Yeah. And no wonder victims don't talk.
Yeah, exactly. So just rubbing it in the faces.
Yeah. Yeah. So, have you got any shout-outs? Anyone you want to shout out?
It's got to be Baby Ziggy, isn't it? Yeah. If you're watching Baby Ziggy and Jen, shout out to you guys.
Yeah. I've met Baby Ziggy and Jen, and just beautiful. What a beautiful family you've got.
Thank you.
Who's my shout-out for this week, Carl?
No idea, Hayley.
Do you know what? I'm struggling here because I've not give it any thought because I've been relaxing, enjoying my birthday.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've milked my 40th so much. Yeah. I mean, it was only a month, not even a month ago, but I haven't stopped partying. I'm not planning to stop partying.
You like the old school beats?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm just, everything is, all the music, all of it is mine. And the party was good, weren't it, Carl?
How many drinks did you have? Because I know I bought you back. I know I was plying you with drinks at the moment.
I don't even remember you plying me with drinks, Carl.
Every time we went to the bar, there was just like, get a drink.
Well, I was still drunk when I woke up. I remember doing shots with Lois as well. I just was dancing the night away. I was just dancing the night away. In fact, I've shouted her out before, actually. But the Bartley Sailing Club is where I had it. She's my good friend, Leanne. She runs it. The DJ that night, the catering that night, pizza box over the road just sent me over a load of pizzas about 10 o'clock. Just my sister-in-law and my brother, they sorted out all the balloons, the sweet cart, the 360 photo booth, all of that. It was just that. Let's just shout out that night because it was just so good. And honestly, so many people after have said, I haven't been and had such a good night like that in such a good time in such a long time. But like pre-COVID, we used to party all the time, and then it's sort of like it's gone downhill. But I felt like I was reviving it a bit. So right, I thank you so much for coming on and spending the time, and pleasure. I feel really awestruck. And can't wait to finish the book, move on to party time.
Yeah, just you wait, the story's in there. Wow.
Thank you, and thanks, cheers. Carl. If you have a topic that you want to discuss, get in touch at b31spinjustice@gmail.com or via Instagram @spinjustice.